Hi, fellow traders. Coming back this weekend with a small account update for you for the week. And going to share with you the new strategy that I've been using for the last month or so. It's just simply a trend continuation trade. So I'm going to give you an idea of what I look for in it. So let's look at this past week. Not as strong a week as the week before, but still solid week. 725.54 was my total net profit. Gross profit was 12.95, but lost 569.85 on that. But still seems like my profit rate is hurting on the short side and it's back up on the long side. So it's just it's crazy how that happens sometimes. But I'm still taking like 4 times more shorts than I am long. So that would stand the reason that my percentage on shorts is going to be a little low. 66.67% profitable. My winning trades are 66.67%. A couple ticks under 70 this week, but I'm not overly concerned about that. 16 winning trades altogether, 8 losing trades, and average net profit 30.23, average winning trade 80.96, average losing trade 71.23, and that's about where my average losing trades are gonna be. Um, my stops are pretty much set at $60. So with commissions, it's gonna be around $72 that I will lose on a trade that I get stopped out on. A winning trade should be twice as much, but obviously we're gonna get stocks that don't follow through and all of that. So just depends on how things, roll for that week. That's gonna determine this. But I do want to see my average winning trade go up. I really do. I'm still a little bit concerned about this, but the market has been shaky and it did come around this week, after the election finally. So, we'll see if it keeps going. My largest winning trade this past week, 212.92, but I had a mistake on another trade where I put to my stop was double what it should have been, or my stop was based on a smaller position size that I thought I had, and it was just a little mistake, but didn't really hurt me that bad. Largest winner as gross profit percent 16.44, and this was probably my largest loser. This 113.32. So this isn't bad. Not a bad week altogether. Uh, so the balance as of Friday was 50.58.96. So we have reached our $5,000 goal that I wanted to reach by the end of December or sometime in December so that we could start January out on top. Haven't made a decision yet. I was debating on whether to wire out the 2058.96 and just start with 3,000 next week and just kind of keep it down until January. That's where I plan on starting with 5,000 every month, and then we'll just grow. Really demonstrate how I made it and how I was able to get to the point where I could quit my job and start doing this full time. And I was only trading $5,000 a month. That's it. At the end of the month, I wire out and start at 5 grand again. And I just got comfortable with it. And if I could make 2 or 3 times what I started out with at the beginning of the month, that was great. But the good thing is, at the end of 2 weeks, if I had $10,000 in there, I wasn't going to pull it out. I could use that. So the later in the month I got, the larger position sizes I could take and the more money I could make. So you'll see how all that goes when we start on January 1st. But we had a gain of 725.54 or 16.7%. So our account grew 16.7% from last week over 43.33. And that's an average of 145 a day. Now my goal is 125 a day. So we did good with this average here. All right, so the monthly stat. So far for the month of November. Remember, I started 10/31 since that was on a Monday. So this just got pulled into the November month. Um, so far, 1988.84, we almost got 2 grand, which is awesome. The one thing I do hate is I'm still struggling with my short accuracy, but this is holding steady. This is still at 80%, 68.75% win rate, and that's real close to 70, but not quite 70. So I will continue to try to factor on that. Average trade net profit 41.43. Average winning trade is going to be 89.04. And average losing trade 63.29. So this is good. This is about in the right range. This needs to go up some more. Largest winning trade this month 247.50. Largest losing trade 143.34. The trade I let go twice my average stop. So everything looked pretty good for the month. We're doing very good. 64.7% growth over the last 2 weeks or the first 2 weeks of this month. 198.89 a day. I know this is down from last week. Last week we just had a pretty killer week for a small account. All right, my overall stats since we started, we have gained 35, 36, 64, and that's a 232.3% increase. So we started at October 1st, 15, 22, 32. We're at 50, 58, 96. And remember, our monthly expenses were pulled out of this. That was a little over $400. So we really would have close to $4,000 gain, had I not pulled out expenses. But this is a business, and whatever bills I have that's part of this business, and you have to pay them. And it needs to be paid out of the money that you make. And this is an average of 117.88 a day, just below what I want to see. But I have to remember I started at the beginning of the month with $1,500, and I wasn't able to make a whole lot per trade. So, this is kind of this is pretty good. Okay, and here are some of the graphs I look at. I've gained almost 6K, lost almost 2. So we're at 37, 54, 31. Now remember, I know you looked at this and we got 35, 36, 64. But you got to remember, I took out some expenses here. My win rate overall is still 72%. Losing rate 28%. 94 wins versus 37 losses. And you can see, we do have these little pullbacks, here. This was a big pullback here. This was the last month of October. And then we've had some pretty steady gains. All right, so let's talk real quick about the continuation trades, and then I'll show you an example or two of what I'm looking at. Now, when a trader looks at a stock chart, it can appear to be, completely random. You can have it may not you may not see any rhyme or reason to the movement. And it's often true, but yet within those big price movements, you're going to find patterns. And a lot of people, when we talk about patterns, they're thinking about the geometric shapes found in the price data in which the candlesticks form these different patterns. It can help you understand price action, and it can help you make predictions about where the price is going to likely go. Um, and then continuation patterns, when they occur, indicate that a price trend is likely to occur. That means whatever direction the stock is trading in, you'll get confirmation that the stock is going to continue to trade that way. Now, what those patterns are and how to spot them, um, they're going to help you and introduce you to these continuation patterns. A lot of times they occur mid-trend, and they're just a pause or a correction or an attempt to correct the price action. When these patterns occur, it can indicate that a trend will likely resume after the pattern completes. Patterns considered to be complete when it has formed and then breaks out of that pattern, and it continues in this former trend. Continuation patterns can be seen over all time frames. You can see it intraday, on a daily chart, or a weekly chart. And some of these, and you've heard these before, some of these continuation patterns are triangles, flags, pennants, and rectangles. That's what they call them. But you'll never see me, or you'll never hear me say anything about any of these geometric patterns. When in day trading, I don't trade triangles, flags, pennants, rectangles. I don't trade any of that. So what is my continuation trade? Mine is very simple. Go figure. Everything I do is simple. It doesn't require any candlestick pattern formation, so you don't have to recognize any type candlestick pattern or geometrical pattern. It's based on moving averages and other technical levels, and it's usually a secondary trade based on a failed reversal attempt. That's just how simple it is. All right, so let's look at SLW. This was a trade I took yesterday, and this was a trend continuation trade. And you see, this was an opening range breakdown that, we didn't take advantage of because it wasn't on watch, but it did hit my reversal scan. And here we're looking at it bouncing, possibly bouncing off of 1882. And I'm looking at this trend. We're in a solid downward trend. The moving averages, the VWAP, these technical indicators are alerting us that this is trending down. So what I like to do, is kind of line these up over different time frames. Are we in a downtrend on the daily chart? Yes, we are. Are we in a downtrend on the 30-minute chart? Yes, we were. Same thing on a hourly chart. Everything was pointing to this stock continuing to trend down. So what you do is you wait for it to test the moving average. In this case, it was the 9 moving average. So you wait for it to test it. If it fails, you get short, and you ride the trend down. You know, it doesn't matter what the RSI says, doesn't matter what the what's the other thing, MACD, or I don't even know what other people use, Bollinger Bands. It doesn't matter what any of that mess says. You read the price action. If you're doing a trend continuation trade, I'm not looking at a flag, which this form. I'm not looking at any of that. I'm looking at the trend, and I'm looking at the price action. And this is going to get me, you know, in what I need to get in. Because I can draw a line here and here. I can draw a flag. And, you know, it'll be a bear flag. And I could take it at the break of the flag. But why mark up your charts and, you know, junk it up? Just follow the trend. Just follow the moving averages. They're going to tell you where this stock's going. I know these moving averages are trailing, but they're not trailing that far behind to where you can't use this to indicate, you know, where you're going to go. Now, yeah, obviously, once you reclaim this level or this moving average, then your trade's probably dead. You know, the trend is probably going to die until it sets back again. And here you see this is the second leg of the reversal trend. There was no indication that this stock was going to change direction. No indication at all. This did turn and it did start pushing up, but we had all of this resistance up ahead. And this 20, it just kept inching down, inching down. And if the 20 and the 9 have a fight, 9 times out of 10, the 20 is going to win. So, and this is where I got in again, under the 9. Or maybe I got in a little bit early. I got in off the rejection of the 20. And we continued to get this nice trend down. I keep clicking and going to the wrong stop. We got this nice trend down right into the close. So this kind of gives me the conviction when people ask me, how did I know this was going to fade all day and all of this? You really don't know whether it's going to fade all day, but you have a feeling of whether it's going to fade all day. And looking at the daily chart gave me that indication. Looking at the 30-minute and the 60-minute chart all gave me that indication. All right, so here's SWHC. This is another one here. Here we had this move down, right, running right into this support. And it got very little lift off this support because look how weak it is. Look how hard the 9 is coming in. Look how hard the 20 is coming in. Look at the VWAP coming in. Everything is trending down. So there's no indication that this is going to reverse all the way back to VWAP. If it was going to do anything, it was going to reverse and test the 9. And you can see here, it tried to reverse, but we held this 2161 level until we started getting this moving average rolling over again. The 20 was steady coming in. The 9 got a little move up, but here comes the wash that we were looking for. Right down to this 21 level. And here, you will be looking for another bounce or another bounce attempt. Again, you bounced here, went right up and tested the 20, just like we did on SLW, and we started selling off again. Now, obviously, it never made it back down to 2101, but the trend was still in place because we never did make a higher high. This was a lower high, which meant the downtrend was still in play. So those are the things that I look at. And this is a strategy that, you know, I worked 3 months on, maybe a little bit more, before I even started trading this live. Because I wanted to learn everything about it. I needed to learn it forwards and backwards. And so that under any circumstance in most scenarios, I'll know exactly what to do, if depending on what happened in that circumstance. So these are I hope that helps. If you need more explanation, just send me an email, and I'll be glad to help try to explain it to you. Um, I'm going to continue to build my watch list on Ticker TV between 8:30 and 9. I'm going to still do live streaming recaps at toward the end of the day. Still want to follow my channel so you want to know when I go live. But I explained to everybody I can't do any live feeds opposite of the chat room, and I'm not gonna I have to respect their wishes, and that's what I'm gonna do. But I will be able to do recaps in the evening, when everything is pretty much shut down. And I may be in a trade, like I was when I first started. I may be in a trade, and we may catch some live trades. But that's going to be kind of the law at this point. So what I'm working on doing, and what I'm working on this week, is I've got the video software that it should allow me to record my screen all day, and I'm gonna be able to edit the dead time out, the time that we're not taking trades, the time that the platform is just inactive and there's nothing going on. I can edit those out and just post videos throughout the day. So that's about as close as I can get at this point. Still working on some things to try to get this live streaming back to you, because I know, like I said, I've heard all of the emails, I've read them all, I've heard what you want, I heard what you're thirsty for, and my job is to try to give it to you. So I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give in. I'm gonna do what I can to get you guys, what you need to help you be successful. That's my job. I yes, I get paid to mentor, traders. Traders pay me to mentor them, but they know it's not about the money. Um, they know that it's about me sharing my knowledge and trying to get you to the point where you can be profitable. This is my passion, and I love doing it, and I love helping, and I love spreading it out. Like I said, I have two passions: teaching and trading. Two passions, and merging them together is just an incredible feeling for me. So if you haven't signed up already, go ahead and do so. And thank you to those who have signed up, and thank you for those who are giving me all of that support. Here's my contact information if you want to contact me. My emails, my blogs, I've pretty much gotten it active again. I'm trying to get more content coming your way there. You can check out my website. I made a couple of updates to it. There is a small account page at the end that these videos will be on, so that if you're there, you don't have to go to my YouTube channel to find a video. You can just click on it right there on my website, and it'll take you straight to it. But again, if anybody has any questions, any comments, any feedback, like I told you guys, that's how I learn. I love when people give feedback. Doesn't matter whether it's negative or positive. That's how we learn. The biggest waste of time is for people to hate and not give reason, and just say, whatever, because there's no value in that. But I hope everybody has a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and we'll see if we can start the next week off right and make some pretty good money.